Okay, so we have discussed so far about the module 1. So now it is the time to start the second module. And if you have any doubt regarding the first module, then you can ask. Otherwise, we will move on to the second module. So here in second module, we are having the syllabus. So within the syllabus, you have to study the definition for state. So after defining a state, you have to study in detail about the fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, and fundamental duties. Okay, so that's all about the second module. The second module subjects you have already understood in the first module itself. So while we are discussing the preamble of Indian Constitution, we have studied that preamble is the key to open the various articles within the Constitution. So while studying about the key, you have studied about the articles also. But in this module, you have to study in detail about the part 3, part 4, and part 4a. So you may be familiar with the part 3. Krishnendu, what is in part 3 of Indian Constitution?
Sir,
Okay. In part 3, it is already we have
citizen,
discussed. Okay.
citizenship.
Hello.
Hello, sir. കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല.
In part 3, what is there in Constitution?
Citizenship ആണോ sir?
Citizenship ആണോ? ജിൻഷ ഒന്ന് ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്ത്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഓഡിബിൾ അല്ലേ? സൗണ്ട് കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. ജിൻഷ. ആ ഓഡിബിൾ അല്ലേ? ആ so in part 3,
fundamental rights.
fundamental rights. Okay. And in part 4, it's the directive principles of state policy. Okay. And in part 4, it is 4a. It is the fundamental duties. Okay. So these parts we will see in detail. So before seeing that, we will go to the article 12. So article 12 defines the state. So what is state? That is the first question within the module 2. You may be knowing that state means a federal unit in the India, just like our state is Kerala, and we are having two neighboring states, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So you can define state in that way. But as per the Constitution, the word state is having a wide definition. So here you can define this state as per the article 12 as a state is an authority which can make laws. Okay, so state is an authority which can make laws. So how the laws are made, that is the next question. So laws are made within the legislature. Okay, so it can either be within the state legislative assembly or the parliament. Okay, so parliament is at Delhi. Okay, so parliament make laws regarding the Indian Union. Okay, so the state legislative assemblies make laws regarding the separate states individually. But these two are not only the authorities to make laws, but some other authorities are also there. Just like nowadays, you are restricted to gather outside your house. Okay, why? It is because some Okay, so nowadays you are not allowed to enter outside your house and roam around here and there because there is some health issues in public. So it is the responsibility of the state to make all the citizens healthy because it is the right of all the citizens to live healthily. Okay, so under Article 21, it says that it is the fundamental rights of every citizen, the right to live and right to liberty. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the state to protect or safeguard these fundamental rights, the fundamental right to live. Okay, for that purpose, if there is any pandemic issue, just like the COVID-19, so what will happen here? The state will try to protect its people. Okay, so for that purpose, it will create some laws, but there is no time to create laws within the assembly because it is a time consuming process. Just a member have to okay, a member have to introduce a bill, and after that the bill should be put for a voting, and in that voting there should be particular majority, and after getting the majority it will pass to the next house, and in that house also next house means both houses in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, and from that house also it should be having a majority, and then it will go to the president. After that, getting the president's signature means the bill becomes an act. It is a time consuming process, definitely, because the voting will interrupt due to some issues, and it may create some problems. So at that time, what will do? There will be some ordinances. So ordinance means the governor or even the collector can announce some rules or some bylaws. Just if there is any heavy rain, then what will happen? Definitely, the collector will announce a holiday for all the academic institutions. Okay, that you know. So that is the power of the collector to announce such holidays if there are any serious issue. So here the collector is responsible for making laws, but those laws will not stand for a long time because it is having some limitations just for 1 day or 2 day. So after that, there should be proper lawmaking based on the procedure. Then only it will become sustainable. Okay, I hope it's audible for you. Or is there any interruption? Surya. Okay, do you have any network issue? Anyone?
Sir.
Network issue? Or is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible. Okay.
Uh,
So I'm telling you that there are some authorities, just like the collector of the state, sorry, collector of the district, then the governor of the state, then a governor can announce some ordinances or some orders just to obeyed by the citizens, and it will be valid, just like the actual rules or actual laws. It will be valid, and it will be valid for a short duration only, just like if the president of India announces an order or ordinance, it will stand for 6 months valid, and after that it will not be valid. And if it should be valid, then what should we do? Okay, in such situations there should be proper making of law within the 6 months, so then only it will become a law for a long time. So in that situation, the president of India, the governor, the collector, everyone can be considered as some authorities to make laws. So such authorities who are responsible for making laws are commonly or generally known as state. So that is the definition for state under the Article 12. And here onwards, we will just say or just mention that it is the duty of the state to do something. Okay. So what is the definition of state? Okay, it will be followed. Here, the state means it is the parliament, or here the state means it is the governor. In that way, it will proceed. That means simply by seeing a word state, you cannot predict the authority easily. Okay, the authority can be anyone who can make laws. So here one doubt that will arise is the Supreme Court also comes under the authority, or is the Supreme Court can also be considered as state? That is a doubtful question. So there were a lot of discussions based on this. So someone said that Supreme Court cannot be considered as a state under Article 12 because Supreme Court is not an authority to make laws. It is an authority to interpret laws. Okay, so is there any confusion, or is there any discrepancy, or is there any issues regarding the laws? Then it is the Supreme Court to solve such issues by interpreting the laws. So the duty of Supreme Court is primarily to interpret or to analyze the concepts within the law, and it is not a lawmaking authority. So whether we can consider it as a state or not, but later on it was ensured that Supreme Court can also be considered as a state, because in some situations the Supreme Court is also capable of making laws, and such situations we will study in detail while we are studying the union governance in the fourth module. Okay, so at that time that we will discuss. Anyway, now you should understand that Supreme Court can also be, or the courts can also be, or even the judiciary can also be considered as state. Okay, so under the definition of state, all these authorities will come. So that's all about the Article 12. And after that, we will see different articles in the fundamental right, DPSP, and fundamental duties in detail. So here the fundamental rights can be divided into various categories that also you have studied. Okay, so can anyone explain those categories? Sarang, what are the categories that you can classify all the fundamental rights? Anyone? We have already studied right to. Okay, we were having a division. Shahin Shah. No idea. Rinsha.
Sir,
Ah,
fundamental right.
okay, how we can classify? Right to freedom of religion. In that way, you can classify. Just explain those because we have already explained those. That's why. Right to equality. Then right to equality comes under which articles?
Right.
Then right to freedom. After that, right against exploitation. Under which article? Okay, you should note down the facts that you are discussing within the classroom. Okay, so within your class note, you should note down, and it's not your responsibility to simply sit within the class and simply hear the facts. So you should assimilate the facts. You should understand the facts. So for that purpose, you need to write down the facts within your class note, and after that you should read it. So here, right to equality that you have studied. And after that, right to freedom. Then right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. After that, freedom of religion. Okay, then cultural and educational rights. Then constitutional remedies. So in this way, the fundamental rights is divided. Okay, right to equality comes under Article 14 to 18 that we have already discussed, and right to freedom is under Article 19 to 22, and in 23 and 24, it is the right against exploitation. Okay, you may be you may be knowing that Article 24 means it is a prohibition of child labor. Okay, and Article 23 also we have discussed forced labor and human trafficking. Okay, so after that it is the freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. Okay, there we have seen that everyone is having the freedom to believe in his or her own religion. Okay, and anyone can profess then and propagate the religion what he is believing in. Okay, so all these are coming under the freedom to religion, that we can participate in the religious functions, and we can construct the religious buildings just like a temple, mosque, church, etc., and we can do gathering within those religious institutions. And there are some tax exemptions for institutions which are working as a part of this religious institutions. That is also mentioned within the various articles, just like Article 25 to 28. Okay, so after that it is a cultural and educational rights. So here it comes the rights of the minorities also. Okay, so it's under Article 29 to 30, and after 32, 32 we have said it is the fundamental of the fundamental rights. So it gives protection to the citizens from the Supreme Court. So it says that it is the authority, or it is the responsibility of the Supreme Court to safeguard the fundamental rights of the citizen, that we have already studied. That is a classification of fundamental rights, or we can classify fundamental right in a different way also. That means some of the fundamental rights are enjoyed only by the citizen of India, and the remaining fundamental rights are enjoyed by both the citizens and non-citizens, just like the foreigners. Okay, so if you classify in that way, then you can see that some of the rights, just like the Article 15. So Article 15 you may be remembering. Which article? The right to anyone should not be discriminated, or the discrimination is prohibited under the caste, creed, then gender, then the place of origin, etc. Okay, so it is Article 15. It is having a wide scope. Okay, it is available only to the citizens, not to foreigners. So if you think, then you can see yourself that if a foreigner comes here, then what is the place of his origin? It is far away from India. So we cannot consider him equal to Indian citizens, because he is discriminated based on his place of origin. So by definition itself, you cannot consider a foreigner equal to Indian, because his place of origin is different. So we should consider every Indian citizen without any discrimination, because all are living in India, or all are originated from India. But a foreigner is not like that. So definitely he cannot be added under the Article 15. So the article just like 16, there should be the opportunity in matters of public employment. But for a foreigner, it cannot be applied. So Article 15, 16, then after that, the Article 19. Article 19 is really a important article. So it is having different subcategories, just like Article 19.1, 19.2, 19.3 in that way. And even in 19.1, we are having different categories, just like 19.1, A, B, C, D, etc. Okay, here we have studied right to expression, and then right to move anywhere in India, then right to gather peacefully, and right to form associations and work on such associations, then right to travel anywhere, then right to settle anywhere, then right to do any job within the territory of India. All these are coming under Article 19.1, but it is applicable only to Indian citizens and not to foreigners. So after that, it is the Article 29. So it is the protection of our culture, just like the ancient monuments, then language, script, etc. So these are coming under Article 29. So Article 29 is also applicable only to citizens. So after that, it is the Article 30, some rights of minorities. It is also applicable only to the Indian citizens. So the articles just like Article 15, 16, then 19, 29, 30. All these are applicable only to Indian citizens. And what about the remaining articles, just like 21? So Article 21, if you consider, it is really an important article. Oh, it is the right to live. And if a person comes from abroad, and if a foreigner comes here, okay, if that foreigner dies, then what will happen? Definitely there will be some cases based on this. Even if the person is a foreign, then also there will be legal procedures, because right to live is a fundamental rights of all the people. Because even if it's a foreigner or citizen, there will be legal actions, because Article 21 is applicable to both the citizens and foreigners. Okay, and in the same way, it's Article 20. Article 20 is also a great article we have discussed. Okay, here three facts we have discussed. Okay, okay, we will discuss once again. Then under this article, it prevents excessive punishment. Okay, just like no double jeopardy, no rules ex post facto. Okay, no self incrimination. We have studied these three facts are discussed within Article 20. And after that, Article 14, we have studied Article 14. What is there in Article 14? Pratiksha. So in Article 14, at that time we have studied what is equality of law and what is rule of law. Remembering, equality in law means everyone are equal within law, and no one can be considered as superior over the other while we consider law. Okay, that is in Article 14. So here, even a foreigner and an Indian citizen can be considered equal. Okay, within the or in front of the law. So at that time, you can say Article 14 can apply both citizen and non-citizen. So in this way, articles just like Article 14, 20, 21, then 21A. 21A is the right to elementary education, that you may be remembering. So 22, 23, 24, 25, then 26, 27, 28. All these are having an application to both citizen and foreigner. Okay. So in that way also you can classify fundamental rights. Okay, fundamental rights can be classified based on its type, just like the right to equality, freedom, exploitation, then religion, etc. And here we can also classify based on the responsible persons. Either it can be the citizen or both citizen and foreigner. So these articles which are listed just like 15, 16, then 19, 29, 30, etc. are applied only to the Indian citizens, and the remaining articles are applicable to citizens and foreigners. So that is another classification. Okay, and after that we will discuss in detail. Or if you consider it article wise, then we can see that under Article 14, it says that equality should be there. Okay, so at that time there will be the issue regarding the reservation. Okay, so you may have heard about the reservation system in employment, public employment. Okay, not only in public employment, but in the entrance to various institutions, just like educational institutions. All these are having some reservations. So is it constitutionary to provide reservations to some particular classes only, because all are considered equal, but for some persons only we are providing these reservations. And is it against the constitution, or is it okay based on the constitution? That is a question. So here you can see that the reservation is provided for the upliftment of the downtrodden people. Okay, here if the people want to be equal, then there should be equality within them. But if there is no equality, then you cannot consider them as equal. So in order to make everyone equal, we are providing these reservations. So that is the explanation for providing reservations. So it is not against Article 14. That is the fact you should remember. So if we are not providing such reservations, then the people will not be, or the people will no longer be equal. So we cannot apply the Article 14 towards them. So in order to make everyone equal, we are providing reservation. That is the explanation. So that is under Article 14. So after that, Article 15, it is having a wide scope for discussion, just like under no circumstances the person within India should be discriminated. The subjects just like the religion, then race, caste, sex, then place of origin, all this. Okay, so even if a person is a male or a female, we cannot discriminate them based on that category. Okay, so if a person is originated in a different territory within India, then we cannot discriminate that person based on that region. Okay, so in the same way, for a particular race and for a particular religion, we cannot put the discrimination. So all these facts are discussed within the Article 15. That also we have discussed. And in Article 16, it is the equality that is discussed by the preamble. Okay, equality, two types of equalities we have discussed. Okay, anyone remembering equality in anyone? Pooja. Equality in stats and opportunities. I hope you are understanding all this, or are you simply staying and listening? നിങ്ങൾ ഇത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി പഠിക്കുന്നത് തന്നെയല്ലേ? മനസ്സിലാക്കി നോട്ട് അത് നിങ്ങൾ സ്ക്രിബിൾ ചെയ്ത് എഴുതി വെക്കുക, ക്ലാസ് നോട്ട്. എന്നിട്ട് അത് ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് മറിച്ച് നോക്കുക. ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ നിങ്ങൾ? കിഷൻ, മനോജ്, ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് റെസ്പോണ്ട് ചെയ്ത്. അതോ ഇതിങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു പോകുന്നത് നിങ്ങളിങ്ങനെ കേട്ടുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുവാണോ? കിഷൻ, മനോജ്. Okay, anyway, we will have discussions. Kishan Manoj absent അല്ല. സ്നേഹ പ്രസന്റ് ആണ്. റെസ്പോൺസ് സബ്ജക്ട് ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലേ? കിഷൻ ഓക്കെ. Okay, now we will discuss the fundamental rights in detail in the coming classes. Okay, it is the Article 16 is followed by Article 17 and 18. So in 17, it says the abolition of untouchability. So untouchability means some persons were considered as untouchable. So persons of lower castes were considered in that way. So the Constitution provides protection for such people against untouchability. Okay, that is under Article 17. And under Article 18, it is the abolition of titles. We have already discussed. There were some titles given by the British rulers to Indian people, just like the sir. Okay, some persons are known as known by the name sir. Okay, Sir C.V. Raman. In that way, some persons were known at that time because they were provided with these titles by the British crown. Okay, now after the independence, we have to abolish all such titles. And if it's an academic title or a military title, then you can use it, just like the doctor, or doctor is an academic title, okay, or engineer, it's also an academic title. In that way you can use, or otherwise you can use the titles, just like a lieutenant colonel, in that way, or major, in that way you can use it. But otherwise you cannot use titles. Why it is coming under this fundamental right? Because the title means it will make some differences among people, just like they cannot be treated as equal. If a person is having a title, then he cannot fit into the other people, because he will stand alone. So in order to prevent that, in order to make everyone equal, we should abolish such titles. Okay, so that is done under Article 18 of Indian Constitution. Okay, we will discuss in detail later. Okay, now just give me the attendance. Abhijit, Aditya, Akash, Agil.
Present, sir.
Okay, Abhijit,
Sir.
Aditya, Aditya.
Present, sir.
Okay, Akash, Agil, Akash absent.
Present, sir.
Agil, okay, Akash, Agil, Akshaya,
Present, sir.
yes, Ananya,
Present, sir.
Anushka,
Present, sir.
Aisha Nima, Aisha Nima absent.
Present, sir.
Okay, Devapriya,
Present, sir.
okay, Fatima Sala,
Present, sir.
Gogul Pramod,
Present, sir.
Jinsha,
Present, sir.
okay, Anaga also present. Okay, then Kishan, present. Then Krishna, present. Okay, Muhammad Ashik,
Sir.
okay, Muhammad Ashik present. Nandana present. Then Pooja,
Present, sir.
okay, Pooja
Present, sir.
present. Pratiksha
Present, sir.
present. Then Jibin absent. Okay, Jibin absent. Then Hari Krishna also absent. Okay, Safal, Sanjay,
Present, sir.
okay, Rinsha also present. Okay, Sarang,
Present, sir.
Saurabhya,
Present, sir.
okay, Shabiba, Shadia,
Present, sir.
Shahin Shah Silpa,
Present, sir.
okay, okay. Then Sneha, Surya, Tushara,
Present, sir.
Vishnu Prasad,
Present, sir.
Vismaya, okay, Vismaya,
Present, sir.
Vaishak,
Present, sir.
okay, okay, okay. Okay, bye.